Alright, this is my audience. My name's Steve Schultze, and this is narrative speech number 1. This is going back to when I was 16 years old. I had a vehicle, of course, when my buddy called me, and he wants to go and hang out and just take the car out and see if we can get into some trouble. So I told Mike, I was like, alright, yeah, sounds good. We'll go and pick him up. We get a hold of Bob. So there's 3 of us in my Plymouth Sundance, 2-door hatchback, stick shift, so it's a really fun car to drive. Mike had told me on the phone that his parents had a camcorder and that they were going to let him borrow it, so we were going to take it out and go and have a good time and see if we can record some stuff and have some fun. So we head out. In my car, it's kind of a messy car. I got cans and wrappers and candy wrappers, whatever, all over the floorboard. There happened to be a Pepsi can down there too. And this Pepsi can is going to kind of come into play here later in my story. But so we decided to drive around town for a little bit, got kind of bored with that, so we said, let's go out into the country, do a little bit of exploring. A couple of weeks prior, I went out with another friend, and I had taken a turn a little too fast and too sharp, and my back end kind of slid out from me, and so it kind of drifted. And I thought, after found out that I didn't crash the vehicle, it was kind of fun. So I said, all right, guys, let's go out, and we're just gonna go screw around on the gravel roads. So Mike's videotaping, of course, the whole time. We go up and down the same road about 10 times. Each time, a couple of close calls. We had to kind of bury the brakes before we went into the ditch, and it's reversing. Let's do it again. Okay, so of course we keep going on. So this one time, Mike just all of a sudden started narrating kind of how the trip was going, the drive was going. I was going maybe a little bit too fast, and Mike had said, as you can see, and he's holding the camera, and you can kind of feel the car shifting on the gravel road. He says, we're unable to stay on and then all of a sudden, grass just started scraping underneath my vehicle. I buried the brakes, and we went right into the ditch. And next thing I know, I hear a big crash, and it's the windshield cracks, and we're just sitting on our side. I'm hanging by my seatbelt, looking down at my buddy Mike. And my first thought is, is everybody okay? He's covered in glass from the windshield. I look back, he's fine. Bob looked back, he's fine. And then I instantly went into panic mode, because I first thought, what am I going to do? My parents are going to kill me. I'm hanging by my seatbelt in this vehicle. And so we try to collect ourselves. We get out of the vehicle, take a look, and instantly start trying to think of a good lie I could come up with of why I went into this ditch. And what happened was when we went in, one of the tires on the back end had come off. I thought, okay, great. I blew a tire, and that's what I'll say when when my parents show up. So we're sitting there on the road, and there's a van that happened to approach us, and it ended up being one of the members of my church that I went to. Had come up and kind of inquired, seeing what's going on. He happened to live nearby with a tractor, so that's how we ended up getting the vehicle out of the ditch. So after we got the car back to my house, got that all figured out, me and my buddies, we sat down and finally watched the video. So, countless, about an hour of just nonsense, and then got to the good stuff where we went right into the ditch. And you could see, as Mike was holding that camera, when we tipped over on our side, he lost the camera, it landed on its side. You can see cans, just energy drinks, whatever, and all of a sudden this Pepsi can just kind of rolls over perfectly right in front of the camera as all the chaos is just kind of settling down. And so we always kind of thought, what would Pepsi do with that commercial? If they made that into a commercial, in the midst of chaos, and all of a sudden just this cool Pepsi can kind of shows up. So we always kind of wondered what that would be. The video, my buddy Mike ended up taking it over to a friend's place to watch it, and then he said he forgot it there, and they lost it. So the video's lost forever, so we'll never know if we could have done something with that video, but that's my story of tipping my vehicle.